Ba-dum-bum-bum. Windy pig, oh, windy, 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 windy pig.
Hello and welcome back to Windy's Garage, Garage, Garag, Gorog, whatever you want to call it. So this is just me testing out the new cameras and the audio stuff, really, that I've been kindly donated, and some new lights that I put up that didn't catch on fire this time. It's a bit of a long story. Um, just what I've been up to as well. So this on the bench here is the rear suspension off the old rear suspension of the 550. These are the old air and oil shock units. They basically work like a front fork traditionally would. They're actually like an upside down fork, you see. So these are, obviously very modern. And they're filled with oil and air for damping and rebound, all that sort of stuff. They are shit. They're very comfortable to ride on. And you'll read the forums about, the people who like these bikes, and they'll tell you, oh, they're really comfy, and the air means you've got infinite adjustment and this and that. But they're 40 years old now, nearly, and they leak air, and they don't leak any oil, so I rebuilt them, but they leak air, and so the ride height drops slowly as you're riding around, which is not good. They're really wallowy, so you just feel like you're sort of riding about to castle, so you never get any real feel from the rear. So what I've done is, I've put some new rear shocks on the 550. I'll show you those in a second because they're interesting. But otherwise, that's all I've been doing really. I've just sort of been buggering about and working a lot. This is the one of the, so these, like you see here, there's a metal sort of piece in, and then you've got a rubber bushing on the outside, and so it takes up some of the vibration and stuff, some twisting forces. This had seized itself solid to the rod on the back of the suspension where you'd sit the sort of suspension into. So as you can see, it took some attrition to get rid off. I think it took heat and a bit of the Dremel and a bit of a hammer and a bit more of a Dremel, and eventually it came off. But it fought me all the way, that one. It was Sunday evening trying to get that done because I thought Sunday afternoon I'd do that suspension and go to work on it in the morning. And of course the trumpet's not, I don't like riding trumpet in the rain, in the wet and the cold, because it's too nice. I don't want to ruin it. So it was sort of a bit of a stress to get it done. But that's that. So these suspension are off. I mean, I might keep them in case I ever sell the 550 and the next person wants the original suspension for it, but I can't see why you would, because it is shockingly bad. Compared to modern suspension, or even just, I don't know. I don't like twin shocks. I do like twin shocks. Twin shocks have never been a very good, performance system. They never will be as good as monoshock stuff. So I don't see. I'll keep the red engine in case someone else wants them in the future. They'll go in the box of spares. You never know. I've got a job to do this evening on the moped, which I'm going to try and show you. But first things first, I'm just going to do a little bit on the 750. I want to try and get the head back on it, the valve cover back on the top, put the carbs back in, so I can give it a bit of a wash, because I haven't cleaned it properly since I got it. I've just been sort of doing little bits and pieces. I didn't really want to spend too much time or money or effort on it, but it was never going to run. But looking as it looks, the motor's going to be pretty good, all unseized and things. I think I might just get on and just do that. So I'll show you that in a second as well. Yeah, but otherwise we're doing well. And hopefully these new cameras and this new microphone will improve things. All right, let's go and look at the 750 first. Right, so this is what we got to with this as well. So I've did stick a battery on it, and I've been trying with the spark plug, see if we can get a bit of a spark out of it. We had nothing out of it. So I'm sort of suspicious of these, and also it looks like we've got a dead short somewhere in the wiring, because I put a test across the points. I'll show you. Got my little test box, and with these open, oh bloody hell, with these points open, oh, you can't see the points in the, hang on. Oh well, you can't see that very well, but I'll just show you. I'll just do it. So with the points open, the points closed, you get that. And although the tone sort of changes a little bit as you open and close the points, that should stop. And this side, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that either. I'll let you close up this in a bit. I haven't got the camera, but this one, this side, when you get the clamps on it, see, that cuts out. So somewhere I think on the wiring on this side, there's something wrong. And I've traced the wiring back. I can't see anything wrong. There is a couple of dodgy sort of twist and tape bits on it. But that's another day. I'll go through that. The first thing I want to do is just get all the bolts back on here. So this is interesting. This has got an oil separator system. So in the top of this, let's get this out and show you. Oh, come on, bugger. So in here, there's like an overpressure system. This piece sits on here, and that's a pipe onto there from the back of the crankcase. So when you've got overpressure in the crankcase, it pushes oil up to here, and in case it's all sticky icky oil, you've got these oil separators in here. So the oil will flow through here, through these gauzes to pick up any shit that's come from the bottom end, and then drop down, and just it's a little bit of extra oil, and it drops straight onto the cam chain. And cam chain tension, which is quite a good system, really. I mean, I'd say all engines probably have a way of venting. If there is any oil, all engines have a crankcase vent of some sort. Some vent into airboxes, some vent straight back into the heads like these, into the valve covers. I think some just vent to air. I think you just ploop oil everywhere if it comes to it. So that's interesting. So I've replaced all of these. So these are all new. And there's two in there as well. I kept this old gasket because it looked in pretty good nick. I reckon I'll hold up. I'm not going to spend any money on this bike for now until it's running properly, because, you know, with things like this, although I'm fairly certain it's all right and everything looks to be in decent nick, and I know the bloke who owned it before and he did look after it, you know, and I do trust him to have looked after it. Until I run the motor up, I have no idea. And into my mind, it isn't worth spending the money on or any money on. Well, you know, spend a little bit to get it going, but it isn't worth spending serious amounts on. So I'm just going to put the bolts in this. I'll leave it recording. I'll probably fast forward it. Just to be aware, and you'll know this, most bikes, all bikes will have a system of how you torque up these covers. Some will just say something like opposite bolts or cross pattern. Some will give you a diagram with certain numbers you follow. They'll all give you a torque. These are 8 foot-pounds, I think. I'll have to check. Annoyingly, it's the only what do you call it, manual I can find is American. So let me have a look if I can find the. Yeah, it's on here. I've got the page open on my phone. A minute. The service manual. See, should get one of these printed out really. Yeah, 8 foot-pounds. I'll do that, convert that in a minute. But yeah, just be a minute, and I'll start putting these bolts back in. So I might take those off first, get them out of the way. So we're going to test them at some point. What do you reckon? 10mm? Europe. We know it's always 10mm. Undo and windy. Well, they're not very tight. They've been off before then, because I haven't had those off yet. So that's a bad sign. And the wiring does look rough. I mean, I know that people like to bodge up old bikes, but fuck me, this looks rough. These look in terrible condition. These coils, everything on this bike is. I mean, I suppose it's been sat in a shed for fucking 25 years. So I don't know what I was expecting to be any better than this. Let's slide that one out of there. Yeah. Denso, proper old. Probably these are the original ones. Nippon Denso. These are the original coils of this bike. That's unusual. See that there? Nippon Denso coils. So keep them on there. Let's get this one off. Now what I'm going to do now is just make a note. Just had a thought. I want to make a note of which coil is which, or rather which set of wiring goes where. Otherwise, I'll never remember. So that's the right hand coil. That's black is right hand coil. Remember that. Black right hand coil, which does 1 and 4. Black right hand. I'm going to write that on here. Where's my pen? Oh, I had a pen. There we go. Sharpie. See, quick note, black right hand. Good, 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 good. So we know what those are like. Now I'm just gonna test this thing again. I'm just gonna see if this is now not doing what it's not supposed to do, because it'd be interesting to see if it was the coil. Come on now. Come on. Stop fucking about. See, that point's open now. Ah, so maybe it was just that coil is fucked. Let me just turn that engine over a little bit. See if that closes up. Ah, good. So that's good. So we know the points are working. So it's somewhere, and the wiring's well into it. It's dead short on that coil, so that's a bad sign for that coil being dead. We'll test that on the bench in a little bit. For now, I'm just going to do these. Just got to find the nuts and bolts for it. Oh, bollocks. Where the fuck have I put them? Right. So these are all the bits off the valve covers. Stop fucking bitten that off. I haven't need to tie this bench up really. These are all various bushings and things. So all I'm going to do with these is just give them a bit of a clean up with a bit of WD-40, see if we can just get them going a bit. Because there's all sorts of shit in here. 1, 2, 3. We've got everything. 4. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's them for them caps. They're the end caps. They'll sit there. Just because I like things not to look rusty and horrible. I ain't gonna do it, is it? It's a decent brush. I need the wire brush, really, don't I? Where's the wire brush? This fucking place is so disorganised. Fucking sack the fucking manager. That's all I've got to say. Sack the cunt. There we go. A bit stiffer. There we go. There we go. That's the right brush. Fucking about that. There's leaves in here, isn't it? There's all sorts of shit. What is any of this? Fuck knows what that is. It's gone anyway. Right. Right, so clean up all them bolts, which is nice. Screws really. So I'm just going to follow the order. So this just gives you such a cross pattern from the middle outwards. So we're going to start up here. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is first is just going to put everything in loose, so it's all in place. Then nip everything up. And then torque everything down. So 3 stages. Just it's probably overkill really, but if I do them in order each time I do them, then you get used to what order they're in. So that's 1. Oh, it's always a bit awkward working under here. 2. 3. always so many of these. It's never easy. There's 4. So you want to 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 will be over here. 5. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Ah. So these top ones don't count. My mistake. The 16 count. These are just holding the what would you call it? The filter for the crank oil, crank pressure oil, whatever you want to call it. So that's just got to be on there. So we'll just tighten them up, sort of. We'll just nip them up. We'll do them in a 4 anyway, just because. Again, it's all quite thin stuff. I tell you what, though, I can fully recommend one of these little Barco sets, little tiny ratchet sets. Come in a little box like this. Just so handy to have, because normal socket sets, everything's so fucking long, so fucking big, and you just can't get it in little gaps like this, and it just gets frustrating, and you've got to try and. These are just nice little handheld pieces. Get them in and out, easy peasy. Right, I don't think I'm going to talk you through how to do up bolts. Just do everything in a cross. Or follow the book. Maybe it's not a cross in your book. Maybe it's a picture of an owl or something. I don't know. Like an old Dot the Dot when you were a kid. But just do it in the order you're told. And I would say, even if the book says talk them all in this order, I would just recommend put everything in the order you want to put it in. So it's all, you've got all 16 or 24 or however many, there's always fucking loads. Put them all in the order you're going to tighten them up in. 1, 2, like that. Then cross again for this one. 3's over here. Get them in, then nip them up, then torque them down. That way, if you're just doing the pattern and you get used to doing the pattern each time, it'll just become second nature. Easy peasy. $14. Oh yeah. What's Scooby doing? Oh yeah. I thought he looked quite cute. Yeah, I sorted it out, yeah. It looked alright to me, so I just threw it in. Oh, lovely. Yeah. Oh. Oh. I'm just going to do this because otherwise I forget what order I'm doing it in, and then I'll that would be a bit mean, yeah. I just want, yeah. All right, yeah, of course. But I'm just going to do this, and then I'll be in, and I'll put the stir fry on. Bye. Cameo from Bex. It's all right. I probably lost count of the order there, but as I'm just putting my hand up, be all right. So I did find also I don't know if you saw me looking at that bolt, but it looked to be like I couldn't see what number it was. Just looking at it, and it was a bit shorter, but that's how it goes. Put all these in. Right. So let's start here. Let's start here at 1.
Forever, a concept of guilt-free where everything's fine. But it changes, it darkens for me and I can't fight the fight.
Also, I haven't put anything on these threads. No Loctite, no oil, nothing there. Maybe a little bit of residue WD-40 before I clean them up a little bit, but they are dry threads as far as I'm concerned. Maybe a little bit oily, maybe a little bit greasy, but clean enough. I had a look into the top of the threads as well to see how bad they were. There's no shit or crap in them. In any of those I could see a lot of scope, so we should be golden for this. But again, the motors this hold up bloody run forever, even if I've got a little bit of shit in them. Not to worry about, really.
Catch my eye. Say what's the meaning? If it kills you, it kills you, it kills part of me too.
Right, that's that. So, like I said, that's everything set in place. Now we're going to do them order. Nip them up, then talk them down. So, from the order, this is number 1. Ah, ah, ah. So that's, right, get it. 1. 2.
But let's digress. Talk of how we were brothers and you'd be by my side. But then I cut out. I'm fleeing, I'm hiding, and it all falls.
Everything nipped up. It's all 16, right? Now we'll get the torque wrench out. So this is 8 foot-pounds. Oh god, this is the shit one, isn't it? This is an inch pound. 8 foot-pounds. Probably just to a foot.
But in the end,
I was right, 96. I just thought I'd check it. Right, so it's the 96 on there. There we go. One. 2. 6. 7. 8. That's worried me slightly because that didn't click on that one. Right. Oh, bloody hell. Well, let's go a bit more. That thread is stripped out, I think. Shit. So, wow. That is going to be a nightmare if that is. No, it looks alright. Does look alright. Now this is cardinal sin right now. I'm just going to take this one out. Take the opposite corner out. Just have a look at these. Isn't it snapped off, is it? No. I was looking at one earlier that was a hair shorter, and this one's got a different symbol on the back of it. I reckon this is it, the one that's a hair shorter. I wonder if it's not going to be long enough to catch a thread at the bottom. Oh, it's a fair bit shorter. Let's try it the other way around. Maybe this one's got a bit more in it. Again, this cardinal sin stuff. I'm sure there's people out there watching this going, what is he doing? He's fucking up. Well, I've gone corner to corner. That is going to tuck on that one. That's fine. We'll use that one. I've gone corner to corner. We've taken opposite corners out. We'll get away with this. Especially on an engine like this. This is old. As long as it's torqued evenly across the way you do the crosses, you'll get away with little things like that. In my experience. Just torque them down. Same problem again. It's just spinning. I'm going to have to get another bolt. Another screw. Wonder if I've got one that long. Just take that out again. I'm almost certain I do have one knocking around somewhere. Yeah, it just turns itself out, which means I'm damaging the threads in there, which is bad. These are the problems you run into on these sort of bikes. Now again, see, I can't see any shits, but well, I must just not be longer threads. Right, let's see if we've got a actually longer. It's got the odds and sods bench. Got loads of stuff over here. Right, let's get these long enough. Fingers crossed. Ladies and girls, ladies and gents, what have I said? What did I just say, ladies and girls? It was stupid. That's got him. Right, lovely. So when you run into these problems, do not panic. Because panicking will get you nowhere. He says. Still not tightening up, is it? What the fuck's going on here? That went eventually. It's clicking. It did click. Right, there we go. So that's it. So that's a bit of a bodge. I'll get a proper one of those with these cap heads on. Probably, but that's on. So I'm happy with that. You know, purists will say, oh, he's fucked that right up now. He hasn't done it all exactly to the book. You know, it's close enough to me. You should always try and follow it letter for letter. But if we were to take it all apart, retalk it all from the scratch again, we'd be here forever. And just one, especially as there's no heat going to go into it for a while, I think we'll be all right. Please remind me of this when I end up with a warped cover. Thank you very much. Right, well, that's no good, is it? That's the wrong way around. So the next thing to do is put these carbs back in. I've got the wrong way around. Just to get them on, just so then I don't have to worry about shit getting inside the motor. And it should just, I'm lucky, just pop back in nicely.
What if we say that we're just still friends? What if we say it doesn't matter in the end?
Next thing to do is just put these carbs back on. They should just pop into these. Oh, that's always in the way, these horrible things. That's it, they're in. They're in place. I think he says. Just double check. There we go, it's better. I feel I've got a bit better now. Send us in. There we go, a little pop. Yeah, little pop as they go on. That's it, those are on. Tighten those up in a bit. That's it then, for now. I'll put some rags back in the inside. Some oily old rags. Just because I'm paranoid about stuff getting in. And that's that for tonight, I think. Yeah, I think that's it for this evening. Just going to tidy up the book bit. Always make sure when you use a torque wrench, you put it back to wherever it's supposed to be stored. This one's put it at 0 for storage, so I'm just going to do that. Put it back in this little box. And that's it for the minute. So that's it for now. These are the end caps off the, just go on the end of the valve cover. They're just for show really, they don't do anything, they just cover up the end piece. So I'll get these, but I've also got these to be cleaned up. These are a bit gribby as you can see. So I'll get them cleaned up and get them fitted in a day. That can all go back in the spares box. But yeah, that's it for now. So that's me making a mess and a meal of putting a cam cover back on. But you can see when you make mistakes or when things go wrong like that, this being much too short, don't need to panic and go back again. Just assess it and think to yourself, right, Everything else is done in the right order. 1 to 16, blah blah. That was the last one or second last one, whatever it was, and it just wouldn't go up right. So you know everything else is done down right. You know that you've done everything else in the right order, or crossed back and forth, or been even with it before you've talked it down. So if one goes wrong towards the end, just don't panic. Take it out. Take the opposite one out as well, so you've got an even surface. But 2 isn't going to make a difference. I mean, there's 16 bolts in there, and these aren't high stress motors. Maybe it's more modern. You'd be a bit more careful. I certainly would. So next job is to figure out what's wrong with these, but that'll be for another day. I think I've got tomorrow evening to myself, so I might just get on with that. And then, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that was informative, and I'll see you next time.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Just because I did promise I'd show you that. These are the new coils on the 550. So those are there, which is nice. I did film myself doing a bit of work on them, painting them up a little bit, but I didn't get the audio. The microphone I bought wasn't really conducive, so now I've got this microphone working. I might see if I can find that footage back and just do a little voiceover on it, just so you can see what I'm doing. But that's it. They're nice, match blue. Well, not quite match blue, but they look smart than the other ones, I reckon. So that's nice. Pleased with them.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Windy pig, oh, windy, windy, windy